one of those days. I'm just waking up here, old world, and it looks like the sun's kind of going down on me. But that's okay. That's okay, because it's me being back in my old world. This is the one I was going to show. I may have to see if I got any spare armor around somewhere. Let's get consumables, I got construction stuff. Got anything left in my furnaces after all this time? That would be kind of interesting. Apparently not. Oh gosh. Now, there's some old-fashioned iron armor when you need it. Well, kind of. I mean, I'll be kind of touring around. I don't think I'll be needing to worry too much about it. I have diamonds, but I think I can buy some things. Redstone dust. Yeah, I collected way too much redstone. I do have an iron helmet. And I do have some other good stuff that I can use for tools if I really need to. But for the most part, I don't think I'll be needing to go around actually using them. In fact, well, I might have to go through the nether, so I'll hold on to that. This is all before a lot of things, by the way, like keep inventory and stuff like that, so yeah, because I think I couldn't really transition the world that way. So it's one of those things. I do have some iron. How did I get into construction in the first place? But yeah, that's a good question. How did I get into construction in the first place? Was this at the time of click to equip? Yeah, it was. I'll have some pie to that. Don't know what's up with my sound with this. I think this Java version doesn't like it. And this is why I decided to build pretty far upward. But I guess I can just let them burn. Then I could show off this marvelous thing that I did back in the day. I usually haven't had time to really do much like that since, but once in a while it'll be nice to see if I can. Like if I'm concentrating on something for a while. But the view from inside isn't necessarily as marvelous as the view from outside, so let me pop down a bit, get to show off what I really did here. Emergency snow golem deployment. Always nice. Always nice. Okay. Maybe I don't know why. I mean, this is such an old version that a lot of things are a bit different. Okay. Got rid of that situation. Okay. But some things are still the same. Of course, I started out originally in a ice plains type biome. Yeah. So it was spontaneous zombie death. That's funny. But yeah, I started out in one of these areas. Not too many trees hanging around, but there were some even originally. Some oak here and there, some spruce and things. So it's kind of nice that way. But the big thing that I needed to do initially was, of course, make myself some kind of base, and where most people go down, I went up. Way up. I mean, just look at the size of this. There's a reason why I called this Monument Tree. Still do. It's Monument Tree. This is my first real home in Minecraft, and it was a giant treehouse. One that was basically the size of the mountain next to it. In case you're wondering about all the water, I did that on purpose, to make my mountain more visible, to say, hey, my home's right beside this mountain. In case you're wondering why it's liquid in such a cold environment, I have torches and glowstone up there somewhere, keeping it all nice and liquid, so that it keeps flowing down. So that way it kind of marks my mountain. My netherrack fires, back in the day, it took so many versions before they actually had another eternal fire type block. That's impressive. A few makeshift conversions there because of explosions. I mean, we all know how that goes. But There's a lot to Monument Tree that I'd like to show off. This is actually my giant mushroom farm. I actually made a big area here so to be able to enclose one, so I could make giant mushrooms whenever I like. Because if you have them with a low enough light level at the right spot, and you have enough room, you can create a huge mushroom with a little bit of bone meal, and you can do it on grass. You don't have to do it on mycelium. That's been around for a long time. This world's been around since, not the 1.6.4 it's showing, but I actually started this out at 1.2.5. I used to hang around with the beta crowd quite a bit actually, so I was aware of Minecraft for quite some time before it really went out and became a thing. But in terms of starting to play it, I was only able to really buy the game around 1.2.5 and start actually playing it myself, and instead of just kind of watching a few people I knew. And this was like directly in person, so you know it was already kind of reaching around different areas. Now, the thing is that I transitioned this many times, so as I go through here, I'm going to go through the history of some of the things that changed in the world, and even just in Monument Tree itself. There's a few things that happened as the versions changed and were added in. I had multiple ways to get into Monument Tree, like a back route. I have like a back route. I have like my main area, because that way I could like conceal. I could run myself in and conceal myself from enemies real quick and go, hey, can't get past this door. And then I'd be able to go up here and have myself with that little trap door you might have spotted earlier, and I'm up to my front door. So I can also move across the top of here for another quick getaway. And of course, the whole thing about the emergency snow golem deployment is I'd actually be able to like shuffle up some snow and kind of deploy them here from a sign. I could just reach over the top. As you can see early on, I started collecting various flowers and plants and things. So whenever they added flower pots, I was very happy about that because it allowed me to decorate more. So this feature was something else that was added in after I'd already started out with the place. And just a little up Monument Tree. We've got another feature is added in around 1.4, the Ender Chest. Yeah, didn't see those before that point. So I remember a lot of changes. I have a lot of things around here. Just off this way, I have my kind of a cold weather farm, so that I'd be able to farm some things up close. It needs a little extra lighting to keep things flowing. I got some wheat, I got some sugar cane. So yeah, it's just one of those things that you just have like a little mini garden. I have more gardening off a little that way-ish actually. Just for my house, just to feed myself, I had myself access to bread. Bread was good. Bread has always been at least somewhat good in Minecraft as a food source. So it really does help. Now, other things I could get back into my house in multiple ways, but the big thing is, of course, I have a lot of compact things here. I have myself my crafting table, a bed. I got a couple of furnaces, so I've got access to a lot of the necessities really early on. I had my special materials set up, but also I have the fact that my tree goes up and up and up, and in more than one way. Like I can hop around and get to the top in various ways. Not the least of which is I have myself a good ladder system going up here. So I can go up the tree. And in case you're wondering how I did this, I actually grew trees on top of trees to make that height. Like I'd put a little dirt as a buffer, and then bone meal as sapling, and most of the growth was actually before they nerfed bone meal. So those trees were insta-grows, just a little more randomly. Got myself my enchanting area here. And in this version, you don't need lapis, and you spend a lot more levels. So, and also you don't get previews, so enchantment really changed. As you can see, I've got a slightly different way of lighting up an enchantment room compared with what a lot of people used to. Because I like jack-o'-lanterns whenever I get the opportunity, and I think they'll look cool on something. A lot of people forget they're as good as glowstone, actually. Although in this version they need to be placed on something. I say that because in some recent versions that's no longer necessary. So yeah, I have myself my a few enchanted books that are left over. I kind of was dwindling a little low on supplies whenever this world had to do its last transitional dance, I guess you could say. but I can still go up further. Show off more of my tree. Hop, hop, hop. This goes pretty far up. This is one of those things where you're going, okay, got some good verticality here. It also gives great views of the surrounding landscape. I mean, coming into an Arctic environment is actually kind of beautiful whenever you really get to it. And instead of getting rain, I get snow around here. It's always been how it is. Interesting, funny story you can kind of see from here. I've got a nether portal way over there. Every time I go with my actual location, which is actually over there, and I come back, I almost always return over there. I think it was a chunk border situation, but allowed me to harvest obsidian in a fairly local area and without having to worry about it. So it's kind of semi-renewable there. I mean, this version is past the trading system update, and I can show you my first village at some point. And sometimes I'll get people to give me diamond stuff if I trade with them. So therefore, it's like fully renewable by the time that I got into 1.6.4. Because, you know, trading system update, so stuff happened. Now there's a lot of things in how my old tree works here in all sorts of directions. So I'm going to go back down. Ladder, ladder, ladder. Oh, the tree. This is definitely bringing back the memories. I'm definitely enjoying being back with my old tree. Wish the sound was working more. I think it's because it kind of downgrades the Java whenever it goes. So stuff happens. Now here's something interesting. I'm trying to... I've got like little offshoots and stuff around here, because this is a long path I've got. There is a way you can dig straight down in Minecraft, and it involves placing ladders very carefully as you go down, so that you... and here's my waiting area. I actually have a pretty good amount of stuff way down there. And as you can see, I got myself a brewing stand. Got myself, let's see, this is my collection of music discs. That took a while to gain. Have a little more art to look at while I'm in transition between major areas. Have myself an extra bed that's pretty far away from a lot of things. As you can see, I did beat the Ender Dragon in this version, and I have the Dragon Egg and a bonus music disc. And a bonus golden chest plate. There's just a few little extra prizes I've collected over time. But the real thing about going this way is going down deep. Really deep. And here is why. I put a good amount of effort getting the redstone around here to work. As you can see, it's been wired with a ton of relays. And the reason for this is supporting an old school arena. Arenas are kind of an old term. They're not as used these days, and well, neither is the term for them. As you can see, I kind of go off in a few directions. Like I very conveniently have myself a bit of lava around here. I'm trying to remember if I sealed that off myself. I think I did. I mean, it's been a while. I think I just had like a spare block and slapped it down into the area here and there. It's kind of how things go sometimes. But the big deal here is I can flick the switch, turn off all the lights. And now, if I want, I could see if some enemies would start showing up here. In fact, there's one right now. I see... I have myself a zombie. But arenas are just areas that were large and able to have creatures show up for you to fight. So they're kind of like that. Now I also have traps set left and right here, and I can show those off a bit better whenever I turn the lights back on. So click. Okay. So under Monument Tree was a massive area that I'd worked out. This took a long time to hollow out and build, but these are lava blade traps. Whenever an enemy wanders into one, they'll automatically collect their stuff because down there I have a bit of an array. And by the way, odd fact, spiders can never climb soul sand. So you use that to make it spider-proof. Now, there's a reason for this redstone. It's down here. If they have an item down here that I need to collect, it'll fall onto these pressure plates. And I don't I guess I never really upgraded them with hoppers, even after the redstone update. I guess I just kind of left this area like this, which is okay because I have an indicator light. Anytime that the redstone goes off from items being there, this indicator light will go on, and that goes for the other major trap areas too that I have. Right now there's nothing on them, so nothing's glowing. But down here in my old school arena, I'd kind of made a lot of things work out, and yeah, it took a long time to get that much obsidian, because enemies won't show up on bedrock, so the area was a bit too low for that. Maybe I didn't... Oh yeah, I have my indicator light on the inside on this one. Yeah. But you can kind of see how that works if I step on there. And sends the signal up and around, so... Yeah, indicator light to say, hey, you got some stuff you need to pick up. So please, pop over here. Still a few materials left and right. This is my sniper's perch. The big thing is, after gathering enough arrows, I'd stand myself over here, waiting for enemies, and just snipe them off repetitively. In fact, I can kind of do that pretty easily. Nom 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 pie. Yeah, do I see anybody? Do I see anybody? Nope. I do have my bow. How many arrows? Oh, I'm out of arrows. No, I'm not. I have 25. Okay, I'm good. This is just a standard bow. No big deal. But, hey, it's just a little thing to show off the classic setup. Because you could also fire through the gaps if you need to, if they're coming up on you, and shoot them that way. In fact, if you kind of move a little bit to the sides, you can kind of angle yourself to fire even a bit below you. So, sniper's perch was very convenient back in the day, so I used it decently frequently. And I could get all sorts of stuff around there, so yeah, very convenient way to go for a lot of your mob hunting needs. Back in the day, well, I guess it still works. It's perfectly fine. It's just a bit of a different approach. In fact, I think I'm on top of a slime chunk, so once in a while I'll get slimes. So that's always an interesting thing. One thing I'm really trying to remember is where I parked my horse. Oh, okay. Enemies are here. Just one thing about my sound not working entirely is I can't hear the enemy sounds as much, which is very irritating. They didn't have subtitles back then either. That was a much newer feature. So, yeah. Zombie shoo. Yeah, by this version they already had very long range aggro. They get like continuous line of sight. So that's another thing. Is by 1.6.4 they already had that. And creepers were a little less willing to explode. So yeah, not as many sudden explosions there, which is a good thing. Here we have kind of an old school device. You still see these sometimes, but just a old school magma chamber to power yourself a cobble gen. So in case I ever needed cobble, I'd just come in here and I'd dig myself some up and everything would be fine. I'd get lots of cobble for all my cobbling needs. So, you know, it's all good. Let me see here also in this area, luckily undisturbed by creepers, is my chicken farm. Like this large mound here is actually a chicken farm. I've got a couple here and there in this world. What's it? But yeah, I have chickens, and I'd kind of just hop around casually, grabbing a few eggs. No big deal. Of course, just being close enough, they start really giving off some eggs. So, yeah, it's just a casual chicken farm, no big deal. There's a lot of compact ones these days, and it is possible to make a chicken machine that goes absolutely ballistic. I decided not to take that option even after I had the opportunity to do so. So, yeah, it's one of those things that you don't want to overdo. So I just was kind of casual with my chickens. So, baka baka baka. Yeah, and as I said, I have a lot of other things in this general vicinity that are interesting. Like as I was saying, my nether portal situation, I can do that pretty quickly. Also, I'll just zip around this particular mountain here. And as I was kind of pointing out before, I got this little area over here. Casual chicken. Casual egg. I'm trying to remember if some of them escaped or if I was just throwing around eggs. It's been a long time. But yeah, this is an area that I sealed off to make sure that I didn't have zombie pigmen escaping too terribly much. Although I think it got broke at some point. But anyhow, the idea is that after they start making zombie pigmen showing up out of portals, are you really going to go for it, sheep? After all this time, you're going to go for it. Is that you really wanting in? Or have it's been so long and now you're finally curious about the nether portal? Well, I'm going through. But yeah, I got myself my little nether base around here. And a wolf, or two, or three. Got just kind of like some casual stuff, including a kind of a decent bow and some additional arrows for shooting things that happen to be around. I think I might want to swap that out. Thank you. I think I was originally going to make myself some chicken in the nether. Hence the eggs. But yeah, pretty luckily, around the general area that I based out at, there's good access to nether fort, which is always convenient around then. So yeah, this is past pretty scary update where we had access to wither skeleton skulls in the wither, so that's definitely highly important. I have myself the ability to also have like some little snipers purchased here and there, just in case like gas would show up and other stuff that I needed to shoot down. I mean, you never know when one's going to show up, and with the way my sound's not working right now, it certainly would not be the best time. Yeah, that would be kind of bad. Of course, I could just get all the way up to the top if I really wanted to. So yeah, it's kind of like a little transitional area here. Probably should have brought more food, but I'll be going over to my farm in a little while. I'll be able to pick some more stuff up, so I should be fine. But yeah, as I said, every time I go through this portal, it tends to make a new one in that other area, or connect to the one that's already in that exact spot. So whenever I transition, I wind up getting a portal over here, so I could harvest that and keep going at it. I originally tried containing it, but then whenever I started harvesting it, things just sort of happened, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Never mind that little thing. I'll be perfectly fine. But yeah, I mean, you can imagine coming up and, hey, enormous tree. So whenever I was coming home from any major adventure, I could easily see my tree, and I have it decently lit with various torches. And of course, I have myself the back entrance. But yeah, I had all sorts of ways that I'd be able to move around this tree that enemies wouldn't know about, so made it really convenient. Including, of course, just the ability to casually get out of the tree. And now onto another farm. Pop, pop, pop. Now, several farms actually kind of got close to each other, including my pig facility. Hi, pigs. If I needed one to ride, I needed to eat pigs, have some pork, whatever. Little mini pig farm. And here I have where the cows are. Now, because of their width, I was able to control them by having a couple of double doors to make sure that they could not come out. So this is my cow facility. Not too much to worry about here. Just some cows being casual, Now, as for other things, I have my pumpkin. I have my pumpkin area. I have my wheat. I got a decent amount of of sugar cane. I got myself plenty of melons. Well, not really plenty. This is not even my biggest type of melon farm, but you know what I mean. I got myself some melons, so I can always just grab some more. Big thing is just not let them, connect with each other too terribly much. Got myself a little cactus farm here. Very little. But you can see even as a compact build, you can have them on an automatic fashion. Because all you need is any solid block and they'll automatically pop off. I made sure to always have a couple for manual just in case it was destroying too many. I could always just collect here, so I could just kind of hang around, be casual and everything. Now, here I have my ever colorful sheep farm. Yes. I remember getting the grass to spread there naturally, making a path of dirt from this area in, letting it spread and going all the way over. And the glass allows it to naturally act as if it was in full sunlight so that it will regrow the grass. So I have all sorts of colorful sheep here that I'd made sure to breed in and I shear them, and it's just nice colorful sheep farm. I don't have all the colors of the rainbow in here, but I don't think I ever really needed them back then either. So it's just one of those things. So I'll just visit the sheep. Hi, sheep. All nice. Nice to see ya. It's good sheep, including the blue one. That one's the one who's always trying to escape. I should have brought myself a lead. Back that way. Get some wheat. That would have kind of lured the sheep around. Okay. Sorry about that. For some odd reason, this version is really weird with the light cam. It's trying to resize things and stuff in weird ways. I don't know what is up with that. Oh, that is freaky. Oh, it's also about that time to make a quick rest, because otherwise I'll be taking a trip, and it may be a decently long one-ish. So I have to make sure that I time it right. Of course, I could also harvest myself a little sugar cane. Actually use some of those eggs up nicely. Make myself a bit of pumpkin pie for the trip. Okay, because I do have pumpkins. That's what they're here for, is to make a good pie. Nom 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 nom. That ought to be a good amount. Okay. I'll transition that way, grab myself some more pumpkins, some sugar, some eggs, and then I should be good to go. Ooh, sliding on the ice. Classic. Oh, I kind of missed this nice landscape. It's been a while since I've really been hanging out in the old Frostville. I mean, seriously, this is a good spot to just enjoy the natural beauty of the landscape. Now, as I go around different areas, it's a whole other story, because in this version, you didn't have the same temperature-based transitions, so you could get through a lot of crazy areas in a pretty good hurry, because that's just the way that it worked. Like, you had tons and tons and tons of, I don't have any there. I'll need to go back to the nether for a moment. That's kind of a weird thing to have to think about. I need to go back to the nether just for that. I think I'll have myself about a nice, well, I must have blended some of my stuff together. Did I have sugarcane in this one? Oh, I do have. Oh well, I was just gathering some fresh, and sometimes that's a good thing. Well, I can also just check out how much eggs I've got. I mean, this is a quick, shapeless recipe. So, yeah, and I know I have some built-up pumpkins in there. Yoink, 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 yoink. This is why I had ready for casual eggs. It's just cat is just quickly grabbing them whenever I needed some food. Ah, one over here. Wow, see, that's the thing. Even just casual chickens can really give you the supplies fast. People really forget just how powerful farming really is. Oh, here's my dog kennel. This is where I have all my tamed wolves. So hi, everybody. I might take a few of you out with me, actually. Can I? Oh, seems to be an issue for some odd reason. No idea why. Huh. That's weird. I had that issue for quite some time. No idea. Well, maybe. There is an idea, maybe. But I'm not sure if that's the reason why. Be kind of a little crazy if. Because everything should be just fine. I mean, it's not that big of a thing. Okay, so, okay. I'll just give myself some more pumpkin pies, and everything will be fine. Because I should be able to have myself a pretty good amount for the road. But yeah, okay, so my wolves don't seem to remember me. It has been several years, actually, so I don't blame them. I mean, it has been considerably too long. So, very much so. Okay,